And like you said, you've built multiple companies and had really good success. At the same time, I've probably failed more than I've succeeded. Not probably, I have, and still do on a regular basis. But entrepreneurship is about failing forward and getting up and continuing to move on, continuing to push forward. And so, currently run fintech company Intelligent Contacts, run the business side of healthcare, help hospitals, health systems fix the billing process, which is, I think, one of the biggest challenges in healthcare. And then run a Champion Leadership Group, which is the growth accelerator, like you said, and help other entrepreneurs, specifically B2B SaaS founders, scale and grow and not make all the dumb mistakes that I've made. And that's a pretty long list over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I love, being able to kind of give back and being able to kind of help so many other people. And when you were saying that, I remember, I don't know if I'm a big sports fan. So Michael Jordan had his like commercial and I was a big, huge Michael Jordan basketball fan. And he always talked about like how many shots that he made, but what you saw behind the scenes was how many shots he missed so that he made the shots.
Yes.
And that was the reason. So it kind of sounds like you're speaking a lot to that.
Oh, absolutely. And that's part of it is really working with people who have been there and been on the journey before, and they can really help you, coach you, and make sure that you don't make a lot of obvious mistakes. But every time I fail, it's not because I did something that just made absolutely no sense at all. It seemed like a really good idea at the time, and so you're trying to do things right, but sometimes those don't always work out. And some of those could have been prevented, with the right counsel. Others, you have market conditions that haven't been seen before, or something that's unique, and it's a lesson that you learn. But I think it's really important to have people around you that can help you, process that and get through and move forward, so that you really do fail forward, not get stuck there or think, well, that doesn't work. I need to go try something else.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I appreciate you talking about that because I think sometimes when you're like in the stands, I guess you could say, or you're looking after the fact, you could say, why did you make that decision? But I think, like you said so well, when leaders especially are trying to decide, should you go left, should you go right, should you go up or down, or whatever that decision is, a lot of times they're trying to make the best decision that they make. And sometimes it just doesn't go that well. Sometimes it's because of what they decided. Sometimes it's outside forces that happen.
Sure.
But I think that we could forget and lose sight of that.
Right. Right. Yeah, and it's really easy to look at somebody's story and say, well, you've been super successful, you've done all these things, and that's the end of the story. That's not the middle, it's not the beginning, it's not, you don't see all of the things that, like you said, all the shots that were missed behind the scenes. You're out there seeing the ones that are made, or that's what people talk about. It's all the accolades, but that's not reality. That is a small slice of what really goes on in building a company.
Yeah, absolutely. And it ends up being like the small peak of the iceberg that you see, don't see all
Yeah.
the behind the
It's a
scenes
highlight
underwater
reel.
things. Exactly, exactly. I love that analogy.